Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out Saturday Morning RPG. Funnily enough, I am actually doing this on a Saturday morning, so it's kind of relevant. But, nevertheless, we'll just have to have a quick look at this, won't we? This tile screen is weird. It'll look weirder for you up on the big screen with 1080p footage and all that, but just the weird flickering colours of the Trapper Keeper and the old school TV there, it's just a bit strange. But anyway, that's a weird playtime counter, I have to say. But yeah, as you can see, I've been playing for about an hour at this point, and I'm currently partway through episode 2, not far, but we'll be able to show off a fair bit of it. So, we've got a few modes we can do here, but the first thing we always do is go to the settings. No sound settings, which is something you always expect to see, but what's weird is that you can scale the enemy to whatever level you want, which is strange. It's like, you can set the game's difficulty to anything you want, which is both really cool and kind of strange, but we'll ignore that. We'll just scale it back to the player, if I can get the menu to work properly. There we go. So you got challenges, there's a ton of these, and they're just like basic achievements, and some of them unlock trophies, some of them don't, and yeah, it's pretty obvious, really. You got your notebook. Now, your notebook is where all your items and stuff are kept, so the idea is if we open it up, we can see our stats there. I'm not doing very well on the stats at the moment, because it's kind of annoying, because when you level up, you can only pick like one stat to level up at a time, so it ends up being a fair bit random. Your inventory, which contains your special attacks and the ones that's been holding in storage for you. And you've got your quests, which are fairly obvious. It's a very basic RPG sort of thing. And you've also got your stickers, which are a little weird. What the stickers do is you have to try and scratch them off as fast as you can at the start of every battle, but if you can, you get all these different benefits from them, so you want to scratch them all off as much as you can. Unfortunately, I tend to forget to do them every now and again, and I end up foregoing the bonuses, but I don't really need them that much anyway, unless it's like a boss fight or something. You can also change the banner, not the banner, the cover. What the hell's the banner? And it has different effects on your stats as well, so there you go. We've got 3 things you can go and do. You can play endless battles against enemies from different episodes, and you can also go to the arena to play against big bosses, but we won't bother doing either of them. We'll just resume the game from where I was previously. Let it load, and here we go. Sometimes the game loads really quickly. Sometimes it's slower than a molassa. Oh, is that how you say molasses in singular form? I wouldn't really know, but anyway, the idea is it's just a really basic JRPG setup. You just wander around, look for enemies, get them from behind, you get a sneak attack. If you don't, well, you just fight them normally anyway. And the loading times here are actually really annoying, because the game saves before and after every battle, so you end up waiting a lot longer than you really should for these battles to start. But anyway, yeah, now here you scratch, but all you have to do is just move your analog stick around in a circle, and it just does it all pretty easily. But anyway, so here's the idea. If you've ever played the Mario and Luigi series, you'll know how this works with a couple of extra things on top. So what we've got is we've got a normal attack, a bunch of special attacks, which are our inventory items, and the ability to charge our attacks. And I've already got 3 times charge because I did a sneak attack. So if I pick one of my special attacks here, which is this disc, I'll be able to show off some of the combat. So the idea is, if you've got good timing, not only will you be able to get much better attacks off, you'll also be able to get more charge, and you'll be able to get less damage done on the defensive. Now, some attacks have mini games, some don't. It's a little strange, but the ones that have mini games usually do better damage, so you want to try and go for those. There are 3 different types of charge too. There's rapid press to charge, which never gives you as much as the gauge based, and a non-interactive quick charge, which will always give you like 2.8 or something ridiculous like that. But I always recommend going for the gauge-based charge, because there's that in-between, between actually having the opportunity to get a good multiplier and not having to do much work in the process to get it, so, you know. So that was an example of a battle. You can upgrade things like your speed and your defense if you level up, and you get XP at the end of every battle, and a rank gives you bonus XP. It's not really that engaging. And they try and be comedic about it. Because the idea of the whole theme of the game is that it's based on 80s cartoons, or at least it's supposed to be. But unfortunately, it seems that the whole overall theme just really isn't that engaging, at least in my personal opinion. I don't know if it's because I don't really get any of the references that the game makes to any sort of like 80s cartoons. Like, I guess that the Hood, which are the main enemy in this game, are meant to be based on G.I. Joe? Cobra, was it? But other than that, I'm just not really that impressed with the game, honestly. At least with the game's storytelling. It just seems to be a bit over the top and not actually that funny. But, well, there's really no but to it. I mean, maybe if I was able to show you a longer cutscene or something, which I might be able to in the near future. But at the moment, I'm just wandering around. I'll probably just, like, make a beeline for the end of the chapter, because there are extra things you can do in every chapter. Like, I've played through the entirety of Chapter 1, and you can do things like go and get side quests and explore around, and if you go to random spots on the map, they'll give you, like, bonus exploration points, which will give you XP and silly stuff like that, but it's just... it's not as engaging as I hoped it would be. And then you've got the combat, which is... you want me to be honest? A pain in the ass. Because I can see that the game's trying to wear its Mario and Luigi RPG on its sleeve. Because you've got the idea that you have to be constantly trying to block attacks. However, the major problem with this is that, as you can see, the camera angle is just random for every single attack. And it can get really annoying really fast trying to figure out when or not you're supposed to try and defend yourself. Now, Mario and Luigi, those games, what they did was, they... let me think. They always let you keep an eye on your character. I don't know how the hell I missed that. That's usually a really good attack they'll hit. But anyway. They usually keep the angle focused entirely on your character so that you always have a stable frame of reference as to... they always have a stable frame of reference as to when you have to attack and when you have to defend. Now, with your normal attacks, you don't have this problem because you always have to focus on like a charge bar or a bar in the middle of the screen. But the enemies... Their camera angle that they attack you with changes constantly. Sometimes it'll zoom in on them, sometimes it won't. And it's really, really, really annoying because all you can do is hope that it gives you the right camera angle for you to defend yourself with. Bastard's got a heal. And yeah, as you can see, if you attack without a multiplier, it turns out to be useless, which really comes into play later on, well, in the first boss fight. Because the first boss fight in this game is a son of a bitch. Because all the enemy characters in this game seem to have a massive advantage over you, at least in the beginning. Because you end up having very low speed, and if you have very low speed, the enemies can usually attack twice. The problem is the first boss has a shield attack that they throw out at pretty much any time. And this shield attack? Well, this shield attack, it can suck up all one hit worth of damage. So, you end up using your one hit that you get to take out his armor, and then he gets another 2 attacks, one of which is almost guaranteed to be getting his armor back up, which is infuriating. Because all you can do is just, like, sit there and try and hope that you actually use your multiplier on a good series of attacks, because multipliers aren't infinite. They take up energy to build, and as you can see there, I've lost some of my MP, but you get some of it back when you land a successful attack or you get a successful attack in. And it's just a massive pain in the ass, honestly, because you just end up having to constantly attack him, trying to get his shield down, and then just like trying to beat the shit out of him before he puts his shield back up. Also, friendship is magic, really. Is that an 80s reference? I don't think that's an 80s reference. But then again, I might be thinking of My Little Pony in the sense of, in the sense of that it's gotten really popular in the last few years, but anyway. So yeah, the battle system just tends to get really annoying after a while because with the camera angle constantly changing and some of the attacks of the first boss fight like constantly flash white on your screen, made it really, really frustrating because my eyes started to hurt after trying to fight this guy like twice because you need to beat him obviously because he was the first boss fight. And I just got sick of it. I just got sick of the fights there and then. And it really just does turn out to be the same thing because once you find an attack that actually works, you're not really going to want to use anything else because a lot of the other attacks tend to have some sort of downside. Like, this one just doesn't do as much damage. This one takes a lot of effort and doesn't really do as much damage as the disc. And then you've got the defensive shield and the heal, which are useful only, like, when you're about to run out of HP. So, you can charge your multiplier with those attacks too to make them have more effect. But it's just, like, sometimes it's just not worth the effort. So the combat is just a bit of a bore as well, because the reason why Mario and Luigi worked was you had two characters and thoroughly engaging, like, animations to watch that actually had tells as to what they were doing. This game does have tells, but they're so short, and the ability to completely negate damage goes away, so that there's no real skill ceiling. It's literally just press the X button when you feel like it to take off some of your damage. It's not engaging in the slightest after, like, the first episode, honestly, because it just doesn't feel like you can really put that much effort into actually being skillful, so you just end up stumbling through it. And as I already said about the story, it's just not that entertaining. Purely because it tries to be a reference to stuff that I don't get. I don't even think it's referencing anything in particular, because I think I would have recognized at least some of it. Like, I get that the sword attack is meant to be a reference to He-Man, because I only just really realized that. But I don't know, this game just seems to want to get by on its references, and the combat system has already frustrated me enough that I really cannot be bothered. Like, see, this charge means that these three enemies all get to attack me, and I can't negate this damage in any way, shape, or form. It's just, it really doesn't feel like the game has any sort of particular skill going through it, except mash buttons and try and be relatively good at your timing. Hell, even Mario and Luigi was better at this because the timing was actually based on the attack animation. I'll attack you instead. I had a feeling that would be worth the effort more. But yeah, I'm really not impressed with it, honestly. The battles just devolve into the same thing. And that is surprisingly easy. I could probably turn up the difficulty by leveling up these guys, but at the same time, that'd probably just screw me over because the game's probably not balanced for that. Oh boy. And I do kind of like the idea of, like, getting more attacks and extra stickers and all that out of things like vending machines, but at the end of the day, it just doesn't engage me enough. The combat is just too dull, honestly. Or just, it just seems like I'm just doing the same damn thing over and over again. And you actually have to fight a lot of these hood soldiers, which is infuriating, purely because this is the only way I can really get damage done. It doesn't matter, because your HP gets restored at the end of every fight, so it's not like it matters whether or not you're gonna... He fucking healed himself again! What a little bitch! Bugger it, let's show off the tape attack, it's not like it really matters. Random appearance by the DeLorean there. I'm not even sure what that was meant to convey, but okay. So, I don't get the references. I think the combat's a bit crap, and everything else doesn't really hold it up, and... Oh, plunger. And the dialogue sure isn't entertaining in any way. It all feels like tongue-in-cheek. But sometimes you need to remember that the inside of your cheek just doesn't taste very good. That's got to be the weirdest thing I've ever said on this, but yeah, it's all delightfully tongue-in-cheek, except not really delightfully. It just seems to go a bit overboard with it, at least in my personal opinion. But yeah, I've just picked up a necessary side quest item, so I'm just going to make my way back. There's really not that much to it. Plane's going over. Because of course a plane's going over. But yeah, if we just return this way... Also the art. I mean, the three-dimensional, like... Hi. Probably would have died from the spell if you didn't get back anytime soon. Yeah. Not very humorous. Is toots. Yeah, I get the feeling that's meant to be funny, but it just really isn't. Like, most of the dialogue in this game just doesn't really do very well. It's just not that funny. Can I actually go this way and get to the... Oh no, I gotta take the long way around because screw me, right? I'll see if I can get to a cutscene to show off some more of the dialogue, but... Yeah, that's probably gonna take a few minutes one way or another. It's really annoying that I can't see that I can go out that way too. I mean, like, how are you supposed to notice that? Like, see, that little green arrow appeared there that time, but it didn't appear on the inside? Things that confuse Blue Maxima, 101. Inconsistent entry and exit arrows. Yeah. Yeah, can you tell that I'm not really that impressed? It's just... I don't know, Retro City Rampage worked a lot better because I got the references, and maybe this game would work better if I got the references, but the combat in this game is just dull. At least Retro City Rampage had a lot of variety. This just doesn't... This just doesn't work. The combat in this game just doesn't really work. It's a boring slog based off something that was not only 100 times better than it, but actually got what it was trying to do in the process. Right, I have to go back down here, because of course I do. Also, apparently the plot... No, was it 3? No, I have to go into the room, and then I have to... Yeah. Brain, you're not working with me today. Please work with me today. This is basically all you did during the first chapter as well. You just wander around, try and find... Oh, look at that. It's probably going to be like a sub-boss fight. Also, the plot's a bit weird. You have a dream about the wizard who literally is holding a power glove, and trust me, it's not as funny as it sounds. And you get a magical trapper keeper that lets you beat the shit out of people. It's weird. Okay, oh look, another 80s, yeah. I'm starting to see the 80s references now, but still, either way, I'm not really that impressed. Yeah, it's just not satisfying. This combat is nowhere near as satisfying as the game is trying to copy. God, this fight's easy. Like, I don't even need to charge my multiplier for this one. I could probably just hammer the X button and take home the prize. Yep. Also, apparently I got a B rank for that, which really doesn't make any sense. The ranks in this game just don't make any sense to me at all. Like, do I need to, like, overkill them or something? But yeah, if I take the cards back, it'll just give me another unfunny dialogue scene. But let's not bother with that. Let's just go and try and have a more interesting fight. Although, honestly, there is one thing I want to do at the end of this video just to see if it works, but I don't think it will. Okay, I'll charge up, because you're probably fairly strong. Not to mention the plot is actually really stereotypical too. Like a nerd dreaming about saving a girlfriend from a non-existent organization who does turn out to be an existent organization. It's probably going to be, it was all a dream situation, wasn't it? Then he turns out he actually has the powers in real life, and it just feels like, what's the word I'm looking for? Nerd wish fulfillment? Well, that's not a word, there's 3 words, but... Fight your way to the gym. Oh, great. So I'm gonna have to find my way through at least 2 bastards. So yeah, let's not bother. I've already put 20 minutes into this, so let's just go back to the main menu. Because there's one thing I want to do. I just want to try it. I just want to see if it actually works. So let's just turn the level scaling down to level 1 and try the arena, because the arena has a big ass boss in it. I expect you're meant to like level up to a specific point to be able to beat these in a real fashion, but I'd laugh if I could scale them down to level 1 while I was level 5 and just beat the crap out of them. Alright, let's charge just to be safe. But yeah, as you can see, they have so many attacks, it just feels like that. And I can't do anything to dodge these or avoid these, so I literally just have to sit here and take it. And no, the level scaling doesn't work, because I did actually try this fight before and I got my ass handed to me. See, there's just no build up to the animations. There's no, like, yeah, this isn't gonna work. I'm gonna get my ass beat. But there's just no real build up to the animations. The timing just feels really random, especially considering that there's no real indication of where the animations are at any particular time. It doesn't feel solid. It doesn't feel like they're using the combat system to its full potential. And yeah, I'm gonna die this turn, so I'm gonna put up a defensive shield, but it's not gonna do much. This gives you a little armor bar up the top, and depending on your multiplier, you're given a and depending on the multiplier, you're given more health on it, but it does take you from at least one attack. And that was the one attack, so I am pretty much screwed. Yep, down I go. And I can return to the main menu, because that's what I'm going to do. So that was a quick look at Saturday Morning RPG. The writing isn't great. The combat just does not use the system to its full potential at all. The animations are wonky. The actual moves themselves are just annoying to execute. And the 80s references are what I expected to carry it, but since I don't know the 80s references, I'm not going to get any sort of... what's what I'm looking for? Satisfaction out of them in any way, shape, or form, so... yeah. The game feels like it's just trying to get by on its references and trying to be all tongue-in-cheek about itself, but as I said before, sometimes you bite the inside of your cheek and it tastes like blood, and that's not pleasant. So, this has been Blue Maxima. I wouldn't recommend buying this unless it goes on a really deep discount. I'll see you all next time.